From what I've heard, many of you have been frustrated by the release dates of this year's scary movies. Films such as Halloween 2 and Sorority Row were brought to theaters long before Halloween, a time when most of us would have welcomed chilling gore fests like these. Paranormal Activity and Zombieland were thankfully released more or less to cash in on Halloween. But most Australians won't be so lucky. Jennifer's Body and Zombieland won't arrive down under until December, even. So, having said all this, I don't see why I can't scare your socks off a few days late. After all, what is The Nightmare Before Christmas, if not ghoulish fun sprinkled with themes of Christmas? You can be scared at any time of the year. With that in mind, prepare to be grossed out by Chiaroscuro, an early horror piece of mine that I've edited down for time reasons. Enjoy, and forgive me for the delay. This story is in fact the first entry in an as of yet unpublished series of mine called the Chiaroscuro sequence, which follows the exploits of a band of malevolent spirits known as the Chiaroscuro. These spirits live under one enchantment, so to speak. They can only touch and therefore murder a human being if they are seen by that human. I thought you might appreciate some background story, but I doubt you'll need it. Be warned that the imagery or the sights conjured in this story will be quite graphic, but I suppose that's what you're here for, isn't it? Once again, enjoy. The Chiaroscuro shambled forward, their sagging skin glistening like peat in the flames. Rita had seen eye to eye, but now saw all too much. Her eyes betrayed her to the beasts, and the light which normally protects now bears forth monsters, exposing the spirits that had stalked her husband for years. Her husband still twitched at her feet, doused in flames that gorged eagerly on his flesh. Rita's stomach heaved at the stench of curdling fat, but wafting from the carcass was the faintest taste of bourbon. The Chiaroscuro drew closer, swinging withered limbs and cackling. The spirits stood out as painfully clear as shadows on summer pavement, so bright was Gary's immolation. Rita, transfixed in terror, scrunched her eyes shut, to which the Chiaroscuro only snickered. In desperation, she looked down at her husband, her face blistering in the heat. Was it murder or self-sacrifice that had done this to Gary? Rita would never find out, but all she did know was that she and Gary had seen eye to eye once. And, as bits of flesh go, eyes are the worst you could ever hold on to in this situation. Rita gripped the knife clutched in her right hand, hesitated, and then thrust the blade deep into her right eye. She screamed as the blade pierced through the soft jelly of her eye. Wheezing in agony, Rita curved the passage of the knife, severing gristle and nerve in grating strokes. Her right eye fell moments later from her raw socket, disgorging blood onto her lap. Trembling, gasping for breath, her skull ablaze in pain, Rita numbly saw, through her left eye, that the Chiaroscuro had stopped, muttering. "They're impressed," she thought with a bout of nausea, before working on the other eye. Searing pain, more intense than the first time, detonated in her face as the blade bit deep. Rita's vision ceased in one mortifying snap. shut off with cruel abruptness, as once again her eye plopped onto her lap, flimsy, deflating, like rancid soft cheese. Rita felt herself descending into a bleak abyss and welcomed the escape. But echoes of clapping, of applause, reached Rita's failing mind, and the chiaroscuro broke into mirthful cackling. A river of blood coursed like tears down her cheeks to soak Rita's blouse, to patter upon the carpet. "I have won, you bastards," Rita thought feverishly. "I am untouchable." A twisted hand patted Rita on the back. The blade of a knife, clammy with blood, was stroked almost tenderly along her neck. Twin frigid fingers were inserted into Rita's very eye sockets, probing the tattered flesh within. The laughter reached a fever pitch. A scream clenched between her lips. And then she found herself alone. No laughter, no whispering. The presence of the chiaroscuro had vanished. Nothing. Blessed relief filled her like a drug as she sank to her knees. But, as the darkness overtook her, swallowing Rita in draining, sightless cold, the scream finally came.